Hello, everybody. Happy Monday, and welcome to another episode of Kirsty Bees Me. And today we have Adam. So, if you wouldn't mind, just take it away, but give us a little introduction.
All right. Well, my name is Adam Powell. I am from Fenton, Michigan, a little town outside of Flint. I'm 43 years old. The biggest thing that we're probably here for, I've been diagnosed with MS, primary progressive MS, for about 6 years now. And there's been quite the adventure with that. But that's about it. Anything else? Kirsty can just ask me.
I mean, we'll go straight in with the MS diagnosis. So, 6 years ago, you got diagnosed. Prior to that, had you been diagnosed with other things?
No, I mean, nothing like that, nothing like an autoimmune disease. I've had like a lot of knee surgeries and stuff like that beforehand, but that was all just because of all the sports I played when I was a kid. On a whole, being sick, stuff like that, no, I was super healthy until the MS diagnosis came up.
So what led you on that journey to be diagnosed? What did you find first was coming up?
Well, what I noticed first, I was working in Columbus. I used to work for UPS. I was in Columbus helping them open up a new building, and we were working, 16-hour days, full shifting. I had just bought new boots. My feet were really hurting, so I just kind of wrote that off and was like, of course they are, I bought new boots. I'm walking more than I normally do. Whatever. Come to Christmas time at UPS is a rough time. And I would get home and my legs would just feel cold and numb. And I noticed I'd have to start touching things a little more. But I kind of wrote that one off too, because I was like, well, of course they're going to be cold. Like I was outside for 12 hours every day. Of course they're going to be cold. It's cold outside. So I kind of wrote that off. And the one that actually got me to go to the doctor, which I don't go to doctors unless it's bad, but I thought I had a hernia. My groin, lower abdomen, lower back pain was just so bad that I could barely walk. And I remember it was on Christmas. I was at my sister's, and that's when it hit. And she gave me a TV that year. And that TV stayed in my car for 2 weeks because I couldn't pick it up and carry it upstairs into my apartment because my back and groin hurt so bad.
So it was, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. So it was quite a sudden, from naught to go.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And that's one of the rare things with my story with people with MS is most people have a diagnosis date. And then they say, but I had symptoms 5, 10, 15 years ago.
That's what I assumed.
Yeah. Where mine were just October was the very first symptom.
Wow.
And I wrote that one off. But then I was diagnosed in June. So, it was only, 8 months? Which is rare. So that's what actually got me to go to my doctor, because I was like, this pain is awful. And he sent me to a hernia specialist. And it wasn't a hernia, but he sent me to physical therapy anyways. And that kind of got the ball rolling.
So what was the test that actually gave you the diagnosis?
Eventually, so once I got through the physical therapy, I remember I was at therapy. It was helping out my back pain, groin pain, stuff like that. But that's when I noticed that my balance was really weird and my legs just they weren't working like they normally would. I'd feel myself slowly lowering the more I standed. My legs just couldn't keep me up anymore. And that's when they were like, you should probably go see a neurologist. So I was like, all right, well, why? And they said, you might have MS. And my question was, what's MS? I didn't know. I didn't know. Looking back, I knew of one person that had MS. It was a buddy of mine that I went to high school with. I knew that his dad had it, but that was the extent of my knowledge. I had no idea. And so what finally got there was the MRI. I got to a neurologist. They finally did an MRI in, I'd say probably April at this point.
So what went through your head when you got that diagnosis?
Honestly, I don't know. Everything came on so quickly, and I was not ignorant isn't the right word, but I just didn't know what it was. It's never crossed my mind. I've always been super healthy, super athletic, really in shape, working all the time. It just came out of absolutely nowhere. and I got the diagnosis. They took me off work. I haven't been off work since I was, 16, 17. Like I've always been working my whole life, just grinding away to get by. And so everything just kind of stopped for me, you
Yeah,
know.
like a flick of the
Yeah, it was.
fingers.
It really was. It was.
So with your life changing so drastically, um, what what could you what could you do? You know, with regards to treatment, career, like did you literally had to just shut down the
I did.
existence that you
I
knew and become
I did, and it was it was really hard because like my job, unfortunately, they were not good to me. Like they thought I was making it up when I first started telling them that there was something wrong with me. Like I knew there was something wrong. I didn't know what it was. Like something is not right. I feel off. They thought I was making it up. They demoted me. They moved me around to different buildings, gave me a pay cut, just treated me like absolute shit. I just kept going, just kept trying to figure it out because I'm like, there is something wrong. Like this is real. Like I'm not a person that goes to doctors in general unless there's something wrong. And it turned out that that's what it was. And then they took me off work, and then I, like you said, everything just came to a crashing halt. I did not know what to do. I had to, for the first time, I had to worry about short-term disability and long-term disability and figure out what my benefits are. So unfortunately, the first couple months was all that. So I didn't even really have time to focus on being sick or what being sick meant. I was too busy trying to figure out the logistics of it, of how that's going to look, of what it's going to happen. And I mean, I did within 2 months, I lost like 60 pounds though. Like
so was that a side effect of the
it,
MS?
it's not technically. It was a side effect of my MS because I was such a big, strong, active guy. I mean, I'm a big guy anyways. I'm 6'5", but when I got diagnosed, I was like 240 pounds. I was a big, strong guy, but going from being that active to not being able to do anything, I lost all of my muscle. It just all fell off of me. And
How
so
did it
that was a
affect?
change. My body was changing. Like I was in a whirlwind. I didn't even know what was going on.
I was literally going to say, how was your mental health?
It was all over the place. I was trying to figure out what MS was, what it did, what to do with my job, how to, keep getting paid, how to keep having insurance, how to keep doing this. And it was a mess. It was an absolute mess.
I mean, so because it's so unknown, and from what I understand about MS, many of you won't know, but Adam's part of this incredible group on TikTok, the Warriors, the MS Warriors, and
Mhm.
from what I understand, each story is unique.
It is.
Every single symptom, every single beginning, every
Yeah.
single process, and every single treatment just is
It's all
completely different
different.
story
Yeah.
to the next one.
And that's like we have a lot of similarities, but like the main things are different. And it's all about, where the lesions are. And what lesions are is the lesions are the damage. So once you see a lesion on the MRI, the damage is already done. There's no coming back. So what that lesion is, for layman's terms, is it kind of ate away the covering on your nerves, and now your nerves don't send messages correctly anymore. And I remember one of the best things I heard to explain it is a phone charger. This one's connected. You remember you see the old white ones that start getting frayed and all that stuff on
Mm.
the edges? That's what happens to our nerves. And then it doesn't connect right anymore. And so you could have one lesion in a bad spot and be disabled. You could have 50 lesions and be fine. There's no rhyme or reason.
So taking us to the moment where everything sort of settles in, you've learned a little bit more about it. I'm sure you're learning every day. You've learned a little bit more about it. Your work's not going great. And where are you there?
So once I've got a little bit better handle on it, this is by like October, and I was like, okay, I'm getting all this stuff figured out. I know what my benefits are. I know what my disability is. I'm getting there, and I finally got with a new doctor that I actually am still with now. My first doctor was a joke. It was awful, but I'm finally with my new doctor. But then I'm still trying to be like, all right, I got to double check my stuff because I don't know when I'm going to lose this insurance and that. And that's when I found out that I had lost my insurance because of my first doctor. He took me off work, but basically everything he was sending into the insurance company was saying I was okay. So it didn't go well. I had
Yeah.
lost my insurance. I remember now. I lost it on October 11th. I didn't find out about losing it until mid-November, just on a whim, because I was trying to log into my little benefits thing and I couldn't log in. So I called them and I was like, yeah, I can't log in. There's something wrong. And they said, oh yeah, the reason you can't log in is because you don't have insurance. So my mind just went,
I mean, I'm a Brit, and I know full well that you need medical, you need
so
health
like
insurance.
at that time when that happened, when I found out that I didn't have insurance, I was still walking. I was using a cane sometimes. I was still pretty mobile, but stress, what I learn now and wish I would have known then, stress is one of the biggest killers for MS. So that stress of me losing my insurance, not being able to get on a medication to help it, not being able to get MRIs, all that, it took me down. Like I went from walking in November to not walking and in a wheelchair in December, just like
Wow.
that.
I mean, I can't imagine the thought process that would go with it. I'm curious. I mean, I know that you didn't meet the warriors until a bit
Mhm.
after that, but when it comes to support systems, did you have a good one?
At that point, I didn't. I was still living at my own place, which was a second floor apartment, which obviously once that happened, I had to
Stairs.
move
Mm.
because I couldn't drive and I couldn't walk up and down the stairs at the time. I had my parents and that was about it. My sister, she lives pretty close. I had them, but I didn't know anybody in the MS community. I didn't know who to talk to. Nobody really understood. Like unfortunately, like I lost a lot of friends just because of what happened to me. Like they didn't understand it, so they didn't know how to react to me, or they thought it changed me completely, or it questioned their mortality. Because if somebody this big and strong can get knocked down this fast, like what can happen to me? So
Well,
I like kind of got distanced
did
by
they
a lot of
think it was
people.
contagious, or?
Some people probably did. I don't know,
I
but
mean,
like,
I understand that, people don't want anybody to be a burden for them. I don't understand the mindset of abandoning somebody in need, especially when the thing is behind every medical need, treatment wise, the support that you get a, from your circle can be just as valuable as pills.
oh, 100%. And like, it took me a while to find that and learn that. But yeah, like the support of the people in the community that have it or that actually care to learn about it is way better usually than most doctors, because doctors don't actually know about it. They know about it
No.
in textbooks. They've read about it, they've studied it, but they don't actually know it because they don't have it. And unfortunately, you don't get it until you get it. And so
Yeah, absolutely.
the communities have been a huge thing. I wish I would have had those earlier on. So like for the first year, maybe more, year and a half, like it was all me. It was all on my own.
So
And that was a rough time.
So during that time where you didn't have a support system, you weren't working, you were using a cane to get around, everything had literally just gone in front of you. What got you to the next bit?
So what happened was, so after I lost my insurance, and unfortunately the cane wasn't enough anymore. It was wheelchair at that point. But January came around. I got my insurance all figured out. I got my insurance back. I was actually able to get on a DMT, which is a disease modifying therapy. I got on Ocrevus, which was the only drug that I could have been on because I have
I know what
primary
that is.
progressive. I have primary progressive, and so at
Mm.
the time that was the only one that was approved for it. So I got it at the end of January, and I was like so excited about it just because, maybe this can slow me down, because I was in a downward spiral and I needed something to stop. And it did. So things were going okay. So at that point, I got on the drug and I started to do physical therapy because I was like, all right, I'm going to go back. I'm going to try to like start learning how to walk again. I was getting a hold of occupational therapy so I could try to drive again with hand controls. So things are like moving in the right direction. And so that was February of 2020. We all know what happened in March of 2020.
Good old COVID.
The world shut down again.
Yep. So what do you do?
And I shut completely down. I didn't leave my house for 4 months. I couldn't. There was no way for me to. And I had just got on this new drug that suppresses my immune system. So I was terrified of COVID for a while. I was terrified. It was a brand new thing. And I already have a compromised immune system. I'm sick. I have an autoimmune disease. I barricaded myself in my house for months. And it was awful. That was the darkest, hardest times of my life. Like a year before that, I was healthy, I was big, I was strong, I was working, I was all of this. And then now I'm stuck in my 120-foot bedroom. I could walk to the bathroom, I could kind of walk to the kitchen, using the walls and all that stuff. But that was it. That was my life for 4 months. And I went through some dark, dark times. Like I did not know what my life was going to be like coming out of that. I didn't know if I would have a life coming out of that. Like that's how bad it got, of me sitting there being like, this is my life. I'm going to be stuck in this bed. I'm not going to
Did
get
you
out of this
ask?
bed.
Did you ask the why me?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I went through all of it. And I mean, at that point I had moved out of my apartment. I was back with my parents. So I did have that support, but I was in an extremely, extremely dark place.
So
And
being in that dark place, I know that a lot of people, not necessarily MS sufferers, but a lot of people struggle when they get there, and it's almost like it's a deep hole, no ladder,
it was that's
little light.
exactly right. And that's how I kind of categorize it. Like I was in a deep hole and I didn't have the resources, I didn't have the people to help me get out. So I had to figure out how to get out on my own.
What was
Or
the first glimpse of light?
for me, it was, I've always been extremely stubborn, and
Ugh.
that's really what helped me. Yeah, right. Believe that. But that kind of helped me, but I hadn't got to that point yet. Like it was 4 months of me just staring at my ceiling, just being like, what is my life? Like what happened to me? What am I now? Like I'm in a wheelchair. I'm a diagnosed paraplegic. Like it's in my medical records. I'm paralyzed from the chest down. Like what fucking happened?
What
What
did I do
happened?
to deserve it? That kind
Yeah.
of.
And I finally got to the point where, I was clawing out of that hole, and I thought of it as a hole, just like you said. That's how I pictured it. A deep, dark hole, no ladders. I had to get my own footholds. That's how I thought about it. And I just started climbing. And like one of the biggest things that helped me to get out, and it's every time I say it, it sounds messed up, but I had to very logically and very carefully kill my old self off. I had to get rid of the person that I was, and I had to grieve that loss. So during that time, I was grieving the loss of my own life. And I went through all those stages. It was dark, it was scary, it was everything. But I had to do that because I couldn't keep comparing what I am now to what I was. So my decision was to get rid of that other person, to kill off the old person and let the new one be born, whatever that's going to be. At least that one doesn't have any limitations. Like it can be whoever it is. It's going to be different, but I'm going to try my best not to compare it to what it was. Obviously, it comes back that you can't fully get rid of that comparison
Well,
of
they say
what you used to
comparison
be.
is the thief of joy.
It is. It is. So that helped me. And as hard as that was, as dark as it was, like that helped me get out, and it helped me climb out of that dark hole. And once I got out of it, so we're talking, it's like July now, and things are starting to open up a little bit. So I go back to physical therapy, and I was all in. I was 100% in. And I got with the therapist that I'm with now. We've been together for 5 years. She's an amazing neurophysical therapist at the University of Michigan, Jessica Benchley. Like I owe everything to her to be able to learn. Like we had to start learning how to walk again from scratch. Like I would get wheeled in there in the wheelchair. I was braced from thigh to toe. I had 2 knee braces on, I had 2 AFOs, I had a walker that I would try to walk on, I would get wheeled out. It was a terrible, terrible, hard process. Like, I remember when I first started trying to walk again, I was on a walker. Doesn't help that I'm 6'5", so let's just remember all that for later. But I would be leaning on this walker and I would just throw my foot in front of me and just kind of hope for the best. Like, hope it landed where I wanted it to and hope it would support my weight. And a lot of times it didn't. I couldn't tell you how many times I've fallen down, but I've gotten up every time, and I just kept going and kept going and kept going, and just finally things started working, and I didn't give up. Like, some people with MS, and God, I wish I was one of them, don't have pain. They don't have any pain. Like, there's some people that their balance is off, their this is off, but they have no pain. Like, I am in pain 24/7. Like, it starts in my feet and it moves up, and you get that question every time you go to a doctor. What's your pain rating? I've always hated that question, but it's
On a
the
scale of
question
1
they
to 10.
ask. And so I'm at a constant 7 or
Mm,
8. Like, that is my normal number. And I don't take painkillers for it. I don't do anything to numb it out, because I have this weird thing with mine is my brain doesn't know where my legs are in space. It just doesn't know. And
mm,
so if I take my pain away, my pain is my receptor. Like, I know where my legs are because of the pain in my legs. So
yeah,
if I don't have that pain, I can't walk. I don't know what's going on.
I
So,
understand.
like, it sucks that I had to deal with all the pain, but I would rather choose pain than not being able to walk. And
Yeah.
that's one of many choices I've made during this journey to, stay on my feet as much as I can.
There- There's quite a lot of stigma with autoimmune diseases. People think that some are exaggerating and it's really hard to get a grip on getting the right help. And as you say, you went into a really dark place.
Mhm.
Knowing what you know now, what advice would you give to somebody who might unfortunately be starting this journey on their own as well?
That's kind of the reason why I started doing what I did years later, started to become loud about it, started to become an advocate,
You're an advocate for it, yeah.
starting to tell my story. Is people have asked me, like, why did I do it? And I did it because I didn't have it. Like, I did not have that person that I could see a video or watch and be like, holy cow, like, this is actually possible. Like, I had none of that, and I wanted to be that for somebody else. I didn't want them to be alone. So what I would tell people is, find a support group, find your people, find other people with MS, because we fully understand what you're going through, and everything we do may not work for everyone else, but there's so many different ideas. There's something that will hit, something that will
Yeah.
work. And just being able to talk with somebody and not have to over explain it to, like, what you do for most people. You say, oh, I'm fatigued. And it's one of the things that I think people with MS hate the most is, oh, they say, oh, just go
Oh,
take
yeah,
a
I'm
nap.
tired.
Like, I'm pretty tired too. Just go take a nap.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing that, like, we need, is that group, the people that actually fully understand. Like, it's a whole different world to be
Yeah.
fatigued than
Yeah.
tired.
Like on a very basic level, it's like somebody who has a headache speaks to somebody that suffers migraines.
Right. 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 Right.
Oh, yeah, me too. I get headaches. Oh,
Yeah. Just take a Tylenol. You'll be all right.
yeah, you'll be fine.
You know?
Um,
But yeah,
yeah.
that's what it is. It's find, as I like to say, find your tribe, like, find your people. And that's why I started doing what I did, was so other people didn't have to go down the path that I did and do it alone. Because, I don't want this to sound like a brag, but I don't think a lot of people could have came out of what happened to me the way
Brag
I did.
away. Brag
I just
away. I
don't.
mean, yeah. I mean, the thing is we know what happens to people when they go into really dark places, and and it's a tough thing to claw yourself out of. Not only have you done it in constant pain on a daily basis, all of a sudden as well, there's no prepping for it, no preparing. You reserve the right to brag 100%. But moving forward, like, I know you've tried neural socks, which from your videos look incredible, but where now that you're a completely different human,
Mhm.
like, you completely changed identity from core to outer skin. So what's next for you moving forward?
What's next is just more of this, like more of the advocacy work, more of the podcasts, more of my actual public speaking. Like I've done 2 talks now at different colleges, and I talked at a conference a couple months ago, last month, like stuff like that. Just me getting out there with the community, with my people, my MS people, just telling my story. And hopefully, if one person can get something from that, I feel like I've done my job. Like if one person can be like, "Oh, I'm super new at this and thank you for sharing your story." Like that's what keeps me going is the messages that I get to be like, "Hey, I did this because of you."
Yeah.
If I hadn't have seen that, I wouldn't have done this. Thank you for what you do. Like that keeps me going. And I just want to keep building on this. I got the brand, my MS with the wrong MFer brand that I'm trying to build. I think it's already built, but I want to turn it into like a nonprofit organization, to help
That's
local
incredible.
people with MS, whether it be with wheelchairs or walkers or ramps or help with medication. Like I just want to be able to help the people, local people around here. Again, something that I didn't have. I
Yeah.
would love to just pay it forward.
I'm
I got
I'm
through it. Some people
curious.
can't.
No, some people really can't, and I'll put all of your links in the description so people can find you and reach out if they need to. But I'm really curious. What would you say to somebody who knows somebody who's just somebody in their circle that's just been diagnosed? You lost a bunch of people when you got diagnosed. So I'm curious, what would you say to somebody
For
on the other side of it?
on the other side, I would just say just actually listen to the person. Sit down and listen to them. Don't judge. Don't try to put your spin on it. Don't just listen because all we want is to be heard. I think we just want to be heard and hopefully understood. But I think understanding comes later. But we just want to be heard. Like, just let us, if we're bitching about something, let us bitch. If we're trying to talk to you and explain stuff to you, I mean, ask your questions, but don't go into too much detail. Don't just let us talk and just be there for us. Because
Because everybody wants to be heard.
MS is a very isolating disease. It is. To have your world wrecked and not know which way is up anymore and not be able to have the mobility that you used to have. Some people, go blind. Some people, they can't drive. There's so many things that can happen. It's extremely isolating. And that's what I would tell them. Just listen. Just be there. Just be there.
Yeah.
Simple. It's
It's what
it's
they
it
would want.
sounds so easy, but
It
it's
does sounds easy,
amazing.
but
It's
yeah.
amazing how it's not, how hard it can be.
Yeah.
And as much as the people that I have lost, I've gained so many more now over the years in the community and doing what I do. And it's been great. And I love our community. Like I've
Yeah.
gotten some very close friends out of like John. You just did John's interview the other day. Like I met him on TikTok. He doesn't even
I'm
have
so
MS.
sorry.
Oh, you're fine. He's
Yes, I mean, John I interviewed, um, 2 weeks ago, um, and he felt so passionate about getting the message out about
Mhm.
MS that he'd done a whole documentary on it. So it's, I mean, I don't wanna say it's becoming bigger. I think more people are being diagnosed because they're getting the right help and they're getting
Yes.
seen by the right doctors. But people have suffered for years and it's just gone unknown,
Yeah. And
which is really sad.
it's just one of those like weird diseases is nobody knows where it came from. Like nobody knows how it starts. The only time you see that you have it is when it's too late. Like the damage is already there. It's
Yeah.
just that's what's so wild about it is it comes on. What I've learned in the years that I've been doing all this is, and me personally, like it's something that you do have for a long time. It's there, but it's just completely dormant. And they say like something stressful, traumatic, surgery, car accident, something like that will bring it out. And I feel like that's exactly what happened to me. So lesions take like 3 months to form, from what I've heard, what I've read. So 3 months for a lesion to form. So in order for that to show up on the MRI, it's 3 months. My first MRI, when I had it in April of 19, I had over 30 lesions in my brain and like over a dozen on my spine. I've had it for a long, long, long time. In October, when I was telling you when the first symptoms hit, I was in Columbus for my job. the day that I was leaving for Columbus, my sister called me and told me that my best friend, pretty much my brother, passed away. That was it. That was the trauma. That was what unlocked all this in my head and
No.
just sent it going. Because I can't form those lesions within that amount of time. That had
Yeah, of
been there
course.
forever, just completely dormant. And then that happened.
Wow.
That was a huge, terrible loss. I mean,
That I mean, it sounds horrific. I'm so sorry
I
for your
I
loss.
grew up with him in the crib, and then we moved to Fenton. Him and his parents moved across the street. He's been my best friend my whole life. His parents are like my second parents. They always have been. And so that loss, that's what it was. It just unlocked it. And
Wow.
here we are.
Here we are. I mean, with such a huge change, um, I don't know many people that would have done what you did. Not only get through it, but now fight for other people for their treatment and for them to get better.
Yeah.
Um, what would you say? Changing a little bit of direction here because there's been communication against Eastern and Western medicine. So I know I've already gone over time, but I just want to have your opinion with
I
regards to an autoimmune disease. Western versus Eastern, you must have tried both.
I feel like the combination of the two is the best one. I am not a big pharmaceutical guy. I never have been. I don't like taking drugs. I take the ones I have to now, and that's it. So, like, obviously, do I need Ocrevus? Yes. Will I ever get off Ocrevus? No, I'm not taking that risk. I will
Hmm.
never take that risk of getting off it because of how bad I was beforehand and how it slowed me down. But after that, Ocrevus isn't going to cure you. It's not going to make you better. The way I look at it is it stopped my progression from getting worse and allowed me to get myself better. So that's when I started doing the therapy. That's when I started trying to walk again. I did change my diet. I think diet is a huge factor of this. I can't stick to any diets. There's no way. I'm terrible at diets. But there's just things that I stay away from. Things that are going to be inflammatory to my system. Like I quit drinking. I don't drink pop. I don't eat a lot of sugar. I don't have a lot of dairy. Just I stay away from stuff knowing that it's going to inflame my system. But also on the same hand there, if I want to eat pizza, I'm going to eat pizza because MS took so much away from me. I'm not going to change my life completely to not enjoy something
Have
that I want
pizza.
to enjoy. I will. I'm not
Have
going
the
to
bloody
have it
pizza.
I'm not gonna have it every day, but, in moderation. I feel like everything in moderation. So I think both sides of it do have aspects of it, the pharmaceutical side, and then you have to be on the wellness side and physical, you have to move. I preach that. That's my main thing that I preach is moving. Always move. No matter what it looks like for you, you may not be able to do what I do, but do something. Move a little bit because the more you do it, the more you're going to keep moving.
But just stop.
Just start. Do the little and celebrate the small victories. Like if you couldn't lift your leg up and you lifted your leg up, that's a huge victory. Keep doing that because then you'll be amazed how high you're going to be able to move it. When I started this journey, I didn't know if I was going to walk again. I didn't know that I'd be able to play 18 holes of golf that I did 2 days ago. I thought that was something that could
Huge
never
achievement.
ever happen again. So it all started, like I said, with me throwing my foot in front of me and hoping for the best. That's how it started.
I mean, if it's taught you anything in a really awful way, it must be patience.
Yeah. And to celebrate the small things. Like I said,
And celebrate this. Yeah,
like I
absolutely.
said earlier, I killed my old self off, but he does come back. I'll be at the gym or I'll be out and about and I'll just see somebody walking completely carefree and be like, man, like I miss that. I wish I didn't have to like think about every single step I take. And I'll get in that moment for a little bit, but then I stop myself and I ground myself because I'll be like, all right, no, don't think that way. Because 5 years ago you were in a wheelchair, you couldn't walk. Look at you now. Like you're
Exactly.
walking. It's not pretty, but you're walking, and that's all that matters to me. And
But
I'm gonna
it's a
keep walking.
huge achievement. I mean, if you just taking the MS away from it for a second, but getting to that point that you got to and to where you are, taking the MS out of it, it's still an incredible achievement. And you do it whilst you're in a daily amount of pain, a level 7
Mhm.
as an average. You
Yeah.
can't do anything but celebrate your achievements.
Yeah, and that's how I think about that pain scale is my doctors are like, "Yo, do you want anything?" And I'm like, "If it's a 7 all the time, it might as well be a 0." because that's normal. If it's
Yeah.
a 10, then I'll be worried. But if it's still 7, whatever. It's always 7. Like, I've learned how to deal with it at a 7. And you
Well,
talked about the socks, as you call them,
the neural
the
socks,
neural
yeah.
socks. That has been life-changing for me already, and I've only had them for, like, 4 days. Like,
So do you wear them all the time now?
no.
Okay.
Like, I don't around the house, I don't wear them because I just want it's me being me, and I want to train my muscles normally. So around the house, I don't wear them. If I go out and about, I will. Like, I just got them on Thursday, so a couple days ago, and you saw the video of me walking down my
I
driveway
did.
to my
Did
neighbors.
incredible.
That's something that I've never done that before. That's new. I've never walked down my driveway without my stick before, let alone down the road a little bit. That's completely new to me. I had the golf outing for one of my good friends who passed away, and I figured I would go there and maybe be able to hit a couple balls, probably fall down a few times, play a few holes. I golfed the entire 18 holes. I walked almost 4 miles. Like,
That's not a small thing.
there's no possible way I could have done that without those new neural sleeves. And it's just the technology now is incredible. So I can't wait to see what else I can do. Like, this is opening up like new doors
That's
now.
the attitude. Yeah, 100%.
You
I
know,
can't wait to see what I do.
I don't even, that's the funny part. I don't even like golf. Like, I'm not a golfer at all. I never have been. Like, I think I would maybe play once or twice a year. But for this, I was like, it's for a close friend. It's for a memorial. Like, I'm going to do this. And I got a team together. I did all this stuff. And I just texted those guys yesterday and I said, hey, I want to go golfing again. Like, let's go out again. Because now that I can, why wouldn't I? You know?
Exactly.
And
And you can because you fought to do it. You can
yeah,
do anything you put your mind to.
yeah. And
And I
that's
think
what I
it's a
try to
powerful
get.
message.
And as much as I do preach the physical side of it, that's my main thing. But the mental side is so important. So,
So
so
important.
important. And I am not ashamed, and I don't think anyone should be ashamed of actually getting help, talking to a therapist. I did it. So that first year, 2020, when after I got out of my dark times, they were offering like therapy over the phone, of course, because it was COVID.
Mm.
But I did it. I did a couple sessions of it, and it really helped me. And it was something as simple as she told me the same stuff that I was telling myself, but you don't listen to yourself. There's always something you can find that's wrong. But when you hear it from somebody else, it makes it hit more. And I remember the one time she said she was pretty harsh with me. I don't remember exactly what it was, but she was pretty harsh with me. And I came back the next week and I called her up on our time and I called her and she actually said to me, she was like, I didn't know if you were going to come back after what I told you, after I was so harsh to you. And I said, you know what? I needed that. I needed to hear that because that was the exact same thing I told myself, but I don't listen to myself. Coming from you,
Yeah.
it made a difference. I did
Yeah.
another session. I made sure it was with her because I like the directness is how I work. Like, be direct to me
Yeah.
and
I mean,
get the help. Talk to somebody. Don't, especially with guys. MS is a
yeah,
mainly
guys don't
woman.
talk.
It's a mainly woman dominated disease. It's like 70-30.
Mm.
It's mainly an older woman's disease. And I think that's why I got into it and started doing what I do is because I was watching these other things with people talking and I just couldn't connect with them because
Yeah.
mine was so bad so fast. I was like, I think somebody needs to see this from a younger male that, had his life turned upside down. Plus, like, the way I look doesn't hurt either.
What's wrong with the
Some
way you look?
big old tattooed guy, it can
We
happen
all
to
have
all of us.
tattoos.
And that's that's what I'm trying to show. Like, it can happen to anybody. And I'm going to be here. I'm going to be loud. I'm going to talk about it. I'm not going to shy away from it. I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, I'm too manly to go to therapy. No, hell no. No way.
No, I mean, I think communication is really important. Just this, we'll make this our closing point about communication because it is really important to hear things from people that isn't your inner voice.
Mhm.
I had this week for the first time in my life, first time I'm telling anyone, and it's going to be on a podcast, but it's fine. First time in my life, somebody actually sat down and told me how they see our friendship from their perspective rather than mine. And it's just eye opening.
Hmm?
So communication is key because if you've just got one perception, just one viewpoint, one direction, you can get really lost really quick because you're the only one that fills in the blanks if you're
Mhm.
only looking at it from one viewpoint. So you need as much as a fear of constructive criticism, huge fear. But it took for me to see it from somebody else's viewpoint to be like, oh my God, I see it. So it is listening to the people that could see it from a different way. And
Mhm.
not always that voice is not always kind.
It's not. It's usually not.
Yeah. It would be nice if it was,
Yeah,
but
but
it
we
doesn't work
are
that way.
unfortunately, we are our own worst enemies. We'll
100%.
find the bad, unfortunately. But when, like you said, when someone else says it, you're like, yes, that, exactly that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just me thinking this thing's like, that's actually real. Like,
Yeah.
that is valid. And that helped me.
Yeah. And finding a group of people that suffer the same um, pain and the same daily struggle and can also give you a perspective away from your own but still
Mhm.
sympathize with you is I think is probably extremely important in healing and at
Yes.
least gaining that understanding
And
of
that's
what
why
you're going through.
I'm gonna plug my newbie support group that I do, because again, that's why I started it, because I didn't have that. So I started a newbie support group. We do it once a month, the second Thursday of every month at 8 o'clock Eastern time. So it'll be coming up this Thursday. Once a month. It's for people that are diagnosed 3-ish years or under. And it's just a safe space for them. I do it. I've been 6 years. Kathy Chester does it. She's like 20 years. We're the old people. We're the crusties, as we call ourselves. We're crusty. We're old and crusty with this disease. But it's just for them. It's for the new people to ask
Well,
whatever they
I'll
want to
tag it in.
ask. Yeah, whatever
I'll,
they want to ask, whatever they want to complain about, whatever they want. It's for them. And
amazing.
I've had it only 6 years, but I've been through a lot and I could have some insight. Kathy too. But it's just a spot where they can connect with each other, ask their questions, form those friendships, form those bonds, and just have a safe space to talk about whatever they want.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. Well, whatever you share with me in link wise, I'll put it in the description. Um, and I just want to thank you. I mean, for sharing your story. I haven't heard the full story, so it's really
Oh,
nice
yeah.
to hear it from yourself as
What's
well.
funny is that's just like a little piece of it still.
I know. I know. I can only imagine like 6 years you've been through the ringer. I'd be happy to have you on a follow-up
Yeah,
episode.
for sure.
So that would be awesome. I'd like to hear how not just the socks go, but anything else.
Yeah, like
And
I'm
would love to
super
have you back.
excited this week as they have like a cycling mode on them, so you can use them
Oh
to
yeah,
help cycle. And I've been bike riding a lot, and I can't wait to go out and try it and
make
see
sure
how
you
much it
video it.
helps, see how far I can go. It's
Yeah, 100%.
you know, I'm super pumped about it.
No
And what's
stopping
funny is,
you.
so Rob, the guy I talked about earlier, the one that passed away, so his mom is like my second mom, but she's my neighbor. She's actually the neighbor's house that I walked to the other day, but she rides with me. Like, she
Oh,
will
that's
come out
amazing.
and ride bikes with me. And she came out to the golf outing. She saw me afterwards and she's like, "You're not doing anything tomorrow. You better not go out and do anything tomorrow," which I didn't, because I hurt a lot yesterday. I
Yeah,
hurt today.
so
But she's like, "I can't wait until this week that we can go ride." So that's the goal for this week, is we're going to go see what they can do.
amazing. But let us
Yeah,
know how it goes. But thank you
I
so
will.
much for this interview.
Thank you.
It's been great, and I'll catch you next time. So,
Yeah.
did you want to say goodbye to anyone or thank anyone before we go?
I just want to thank you for letting me come on here and
Yeah,
talk about it. And then
it's a
anyone else
pleasure.
that's going through it, feel free to reach out to me if you need to. She'll have all my social media. I
Everything will
do
be
my
linked.
best to respond to messages, but reach out and just ask your questions, and
Thank you
I'll
so
help any
much.
way I can.
Amazing. Thank you.
Mhm.